Chapter 43. Into the labyrinth, 48 hours isn't enough time, Dick said, pacing the length of the bunker's main floor. His Nightwing suit bore scorch marks from the warehouse encounter, but his energy hadn't diminished. Shrek's facility has 24-hour security, red triangle patrols every 6 hours. We'd need weeks to plan a proper infiltration. We have 2 days. I stripped off my mask, letting the bunker's cool air hit my sweat-dampened skin. My 23rd birthday was officially over, and Joker's gift had been a masterclass in psychological warfare. But he'd also handed us something valuable, confirmation that Shrek was moving faster than anticipated. Bruce's fingers flew across the keyboard, multiple screens displaying blueprints, patrol schedules, and thermal imaging of the power plant construction site. Selina's access card still works. Shrek hasn't revoked her credentials because he thinks I'm still his loyal assistant. Selina peeled off her Catwoman gloves, revealing the calluses from years of Jeet Kune Do training. I'm supposed to be at the site tomorrow morning at 9 for a final inspection walkthrough with the engineers. I turned to face her, alarm spiking through my exhaustion. That's too dangerous. If Shrek suspects you've been feeding us information, he doesn't. Selina's blue eyes met mine with absolute certainty. I've been careful, playing the dutiful assistant, taking notes, fetching coffee. He sees what he expects to see, someone invisible. Unity means trusting your team, Bruce said quietly, his gray mustache twitching. Joker proved that tonight. Selina's our best chance at gathering real-time intelligence on the capacitor's activation sequence. Alfred descended the bunker stairs carrying a tray laden with sandwiches and thermoses. Miss Renee, you haven't eaten since breakfast. Master Dick, you need fluids after that exertion. And Miss Kyle, I believe you prefer your tea with honey. You're a saint, Alfred. Selina accepted the cup gratefully. I forced myself to eat, though my stomach churned with anxiety. The crystalline sight had faded completely, leaving only ordinary vision and the bone-deep weariness that came from pushing my abilities to their limit. What's our objective? We can't just walk in and start dismantling equipment. Intelligence gathering first. Bruce pulled up a 3-dimensional schematic of the plant's lower levels. The capacitor array is housed here, in the sub-basement. According to the permits Shrek filed, the activation sequence requires manual input from the main control room. But there's a backup system here. He highlighted a junction box near the eastern wall. If we can access that, I can splice into their network remotely. Dick stopped pacing, studying the schematic. Security cameras? 47 throughout the facility, but they're on a rotating monitor system. Bruce and I mapped the blind spots last month. Selina set down her tea, pulling a folded paper from her belt. I sketched the patrol routes. The night shift has 12 guards, but they cluster near the main entrance and the equipment storage. The sub-basement is considered low priority because it's supposed to be locked down. Supposed to be? I caught the careful phrasing. I may have accidentally failed to return one of the maintenance access keys. Selina's smile was razor-sharp. It's been sitting in my apartment for 3 weeks. Bruce actually chuckled, the sound startling in its rarity. Batman would have confiscated that immediately. But you're not Batman, Renee. You're something different, something better, perhaps. The compliment settled over me like armor. Then here's the plan. Selina goes in tomorrow morning as scheduled, plants Bruce's monitoring device on the backup junction. Dick, you'll be perimeter, watching for red triangle movement, ready to extract if things go wrong. I'll infiltrate during the afternoon shift change, when security's distracted. And do what? Dick's brown eyes narrowed. Get eyes on the capacitor itself. Understand how it works, what powers it, what its vulnerabilities are. I looked at Bruce. You said it's designed to siphon the city's electrical grid. There has to be a weak point. Every system has one. Bruce's fingers danced across the keyboard again, but finding it requires someone on site who can think tactically, someone trained to see patterns. The weight of expectation pressed against my shoulders, but this time it felt different. Shared. We do this together. Selena plants the device. I gather intelligence. Dick runs interference. Bruce coordinates. And we bring Gotham the evidence it needs to shut Shrek down permanently. Before he activates that weapon, Selena added softly. The next morning found me in the Batmobile's driver's seat, parked 3 blocks from Shrek's facility in a condemned garage Bruce had secured years ago. The vehicle's adaptive camouflage rendered it nearly invisible, and its sensor array gave me a perfect view of the plant's eastern entrance. Selena's inside. Dick's voice came through my comm from his position on a rooftop across the street. 2 engineers for security guards, and Max Shrek himself just entered the main building. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Bruce, can you confirm? Confirmed. Shrek wasn't scheduled to be here until tonight. Bruce's tone carried concern. Selena, if you're hearing this, aboard if you feel compromised. Selena's response came through calm and steady. I'm fine. He's focused on the engineers, not me, approaching the junction box now. I watched the thermal display, seeing the heat signatures move through the building's layout. Selena's distinctive pattern, smaller, moving with the fluid grace of a trained martial artist, separated from the group, descending toward the sub-basement. 20 seconds, she murmured. The tension stretched like a wire. I found myself holding my breath, counting down in my head. 15, 10, 5. Device planted. Selena's voice cut off abruptly. My heart stopped. Selena. Dick's voice crackled urgently. Movement at the north entrance. 6 vehicles. Red triangle markings. And Renee, that's the Penguin's convoy. Bruce's command came sharp and immediate. Renee, do not engage. We need to extract Selena first. But through the thermal imaging, I could see new signatures flooding the building. Dozens of them. And Selena's signal, isolated in the sub-basement, suddenly surrounded by 3 heat sources closing in fast. She's trapped, I said, already shifting the Batmobile into gear. I'm going in. Renee, wait for. I cut the comm, trust and fear warring in my chest. Unity meant supporting your team. Courage meant acting when it mattered most. And compassion meant never leaving someone you loved behind. The Batmobile roared to life, and I drove straight toward the facility's reinforced gates.